one of our latest projects was the Workers' Rights Forum, which was held in August. And what we did was invite workers, such as Walmart workers, domestic care or domestic home care workers, students, undocumented students, to talk about their stories in front of the community to gain support for them. And we invited a few politicians. So we had a lot of community organizations represented. SEIU was very helpful to us. They provided the space, the food, and the materials, the flyers and all that. So it was a really great event.
I work for State Fund of California, and in our work site we were going through what they like to call right sizing. After the executive management came together with our people and finally admitted that the resizing was really their agenda instead of just changing our footprint, and they declared they had to do options to lay off people. We reminded them they had to follow protocol. They didn't exactly follow that, right? And in the end, people got scared away, but people who stayed, it's a victory. So they came up with this idea that they wanted to give everyone a bonus. Not everyone, actually. They only wanted to handpick some people. And we threw that back at them. We said, no. I said, the only ones that stay here, you owe them all something. Then the victory for us was they're still going to do what they're going to do. They want to hand out money to people, but it's not going to be X amount of percentage, this exorbitant figure. It was a percentage for everyone, but we made sure that everyone who was there got something, because they all contributed to the success of that operation despite the turmoil that was being created by their right sizing. For me, that's what inspires me. When I see inefficiency, when I see ineffectiveness, and when I see pain as a result of that, and other people gaining because they inflicted that pain, the fact is we can do things to stop it. It's a matter of working towards something. It does require a group of people, and organizing, frankly, is the way to do it. They've managed to create the rat race where people are working 2 jobs or just to survive. You have to lean on someone and then they feel compelled you owe them. No, we can lean on each other just fine and no one owes anyone. This is what we have to do. We have to band together because frankly there's more of us than there is them. That's why it's called the 1% and we're the 99. That's what motivates me to organize. We need to reband, refocus, and regrow. So our vision is just another step of that wave. We're building and rebuilding and regaining our joint evolution, which is to rise.
Well, being part of union to me means, unity, because that's basically what the birth union says. You're united, you're together, you fight for a cause together with somebody else, no matter who it is. You out there try to, fight for a specific thing that you're going for. In my case, I'm a home care provider. We're trying to fight for the rights of home care workers. We don't have that many rights as much as other workers do. We don't have overtime. We don't have sick leave. A lot of things that we're fighting for. That's what unity is. What inspired me to be a union leader was the fact that a few years back, I came to our union because I wanted to fight for like I said earlier, for the rights of the home care workers. So I came into some of our meetings and they asked me, can you help? And I said, oh, I'll be willing to help. And from there on, they just asked me to do other things, and I was glad to do that. Eventually, I was asked to do other things. It wasn't planned for me to be a leader. It just came about, but it came about for me just participating in doing things that I was asked to do and I was glad to do it because I wanted to help in terms of doing what our union needed to do.
Lo que me inspiró a ser una líder del sindicato es porque para tener una vida mejor y porque pienso que estar en un sindicato es para poder luchar para mejores beneficios y mejores salarios.
What inspired me to become a leader in the union is that I wanted to look for a better life. To be a member of a union, together we can find that better life and a better benefits and a better conditions in life.
Para el 2020 quiero ver que seamos una unión, estemos todos unidos, que logremos que tengamos mejores beneficios, que tengamos mejores beneficios médicos, mejores salarios, un trabajo de de full time, de un full time de tiempo completo, y también para que tengamos nosotros como personas que vamos, para personas mayores, que tengamos una buena pensión y una vida, que tengamos en la vejez una vida mejor y de calidad.
My vision for 2010 is to be united in a stronger union, that all of us will be able to have a better quality of life, better jobs, full-time jobs, we have a good health care, and that we all be able to enjoy it and be able to hope for the future with a better retirement and a better quality of life in our last days of life.
Being part of a union means to me that you have this collection of folks who help to fight for better wages, health care, and there's this camaraderie as well as challenging the 1% who seem to be taking everything that we have almost. This year, in June, security officers in Los Angeles and the Bay Area, we combined our contract fight, won a victory in getting raises, health care, and sick days, vacation days. It was tough, challenging, because as you know, contractors, they don't want to give up what they can keep, but we challenged them in a way that we benefited in the end. We could have done more if we would have had more troops in the field to help with the fight. And so that's the challenge, that the next time we do this, to have more boots on the ground so that we can benefit our members even more. My vision, based upon my experience with the contract fight, is that California 2020 workers and this move that we have to benefit the lives of those who are not only in the union but get non-union folks. It's an important thing that we do and fight and get it done.
We had a situation at our school site where I worked as a steward. One of our cafeteria workers was experiencing challenges with the supervisor, and she was threatened to be transferred. So she came to me, and we had a meeting with our principal, and the principal was able to stop the transfer. It was inconvenient for her because of child care and because of travel distance. Unbeknownst to her, not being requested to transfer, she was forced to move because she exercised her rights and her voice. And so because we got on top of it, and because we met with our administrator, and our administrator heard our concerns, we were able to keep her in place to hold her job. For a long time, I did not know what the union did. I paid the dues, I came to some meetings, but I was ignorant, I was unaware. So I was encouraged by one of the union reps to participate and be a part. When I started coming to the meetings, I started hearing the concerns, and I started realizing what the union really did for me that I took for granted. I was encouraged to be a part. I became a steward, and since then I really enjoy representing the people, helping them with the concerns. I'm a people person. I love talking to people, and I love being a part of the solution to problems that people face from day to day. We've built a camaraderie, we've built a friendship and a fellowship in the union where people aren't just names and faces, but we're a family. And I love the cohesiveness and I love the camaraderie of working together for the common goals and the benefit of the people.
Being part of a union to me feels strong, united, togetherness. I enjoy working with a diverse group. We have a large diverse group, and to me that helps us be more unified, and I enjoy it. One of the victories that I really enjoy being a part of was helping to form the statewide home care providers We're actually going to become statewide for all the locals, and that was a large fight. We were knocking on all the assembly and legislators' doors, trying to make sure this was accomplished. And so now we're looking forward to, we did accomplish that goal. Now we're just getting it together to decide how the negotiation is going to be formed. So it'll help everybody that has low income, their wages will be increased.
As the local wide president, Santa Clara County just won 3% over the next 3 years. So we're really excited about that. Well, it was crucial negotiations that went 20 hours a day. Negotiations started at 9 in the morning and went to 2 and 3 o'clock every day for almost a week. There were step increases that were needed and benefit packages that we had to fight to retain, and we did. I got involved with the union because at my work site there were people who were, favoritism was happening a lot, and I was paying union dues, and I wanted to see how my union dues would work for me. So I found out I had to go to work and work to get justice in my work site. And then from there, it's been 30 years, and I'm still fighting.
What inspired me to be a leader of my local union was to take ownership in my union. I've been an activist my whole life pretty much. And when I got hired, I was thrilled to be in a union. So it was kind of a dream come true in a way. There was no real action or nothing that happened that prompted me to do it. It was just a natural evolution for me. But I also wanted to have an impact. I wanted to be able to influence our union and take us in a direction and make our future a little brighter, just by adding my little talent, whatever I could. Well, currently we're working on a contracting in campaign on many of our campuses in the CSU. Administrators have been contracting out our custodial work, and it's kind of crept up on us. It's not something that that happened overnight. It's been escalating, and so we finally got a grip on it. And over the last year or so, we've been fighting back on that, and we've been getting victories throughout the South on the CSU campuses. So we've brought back, I'm not sure exactly how many jobs, but we're getting close to 100 jobs back to in-house with good pay, with benefits, and with representation. And these are jobs that people had, contracted employees had, that were getting just above minimum wage, no benefits, not enough hours to get benefits, getting treated horribly. And so it's been a campaign that we've been running. And like I said, we've had victories at San Diego State, Cal State San Marcos, at Dominguez Hills. We just got word in Fresno last week that we're going to be bringing jobs back there. So it's been a really awesome campaign to be a part of. We've been incorporating all the different parts of our union, so representation, bargaining, organizing. It's been members have been a part of it, staff have been part of it, and it's a really good example of how our union has come together, all different aspects, to work towards a common goal and get achievable, solid victories that really have impact on people's lives. A lot of these contracted employees are becoming state employees, so we're not necessarily putting people out of work, we're giving them better pay, good benefits, and representation in the workplace too.
I did phone banking and door-to-door during the campaign to elect President Obama. And another one is that I helped represent as a steward one of the members during a sexual harassment case, and that was tossed out. So I'm proud of that. We were focused during the campaign for to re-elect President Obama. We knew that we needed to win so that the healthcare reform could move forward. So we were very focused on that. We did phone banking, we did door-to-door, and we had one vision, and that was to elect him. We were very focused. We knew the price. We knew that we had to move forward with the healthcare, and so we did phone banking, we did door-to-door, and we had one goal in mind, and that was to re-elect President Obama.
Recently, we traveled to Sacramento. A bunch of us went out there, all union members. We talked to the different legislatures, met with them in their offices, discussed having summer unemployment insurance benefits for classified employees and how important that is. And we also talked about classified employees having a voice in whether our schools become charter or not and being able to vote. And so far, those have passed the different houses and are going on to hopefully become a bill. And now both bills have passed, and we're just waiting for the governor to sign them so that they can become laws. My vision for 2020 involves education. I have 3 kids in college, and it needs to become affordable in California. Like some of the other states have done, we need to follow suit and make education affordable for our college students. Another huge issue is health care in California. I have children that need health care. They don't always get it with their jobs, so we need to continue to provide education for our adult children as they go along, and that's huge. The union has been a big part of that, and it needs to continue.
I guess I got inspired to be more active when I kept hearing my coworkers complaining and grousing, and once in a while we would have meetings where we'd have a lot of complaints and they didn't seem to go anywhere, and I thought it was really time to start getting active and doing things. In particular, I work with the temporary part-time workers in the city of Oakland, and they're actually, because of the downturn in the economy and what the political will of the city, they have actually downsized the permanent full-time workers and exploded the temporary part-time workers. So there's now 1,500 of us and 1,100 permanent full-time workers, and it was time to get more rights and more scheduling and more just cause for the permanent part-time workers. For the temporary part-time workers who are actually doing permanent jobs, excuse me. You know, people think of part-time workers and full-time workers, but in our situation in the city of Oakland, the real issue is more that we are temporary part-time workers with less rights than the permanent part or full-time workers. For the first time in this contract negotiating season, the temporary part-time workers really joined forces with the full-time permanent workers. We actually took actions where we walked out of negotiations across the City Hall Plaza and did an action in front of the city administrator's office to support and to say, you're not dividing and conquering us this year. Our issues are strong, there are many of us, and we need to be heard, and we need the training and online side-by-side support of our full-time brothers and sisters, and we're supporting each other this time. And so that created a lot of political momentum with our city council people. It got somewhat in the public media. Still, some of the words were bandied about wrong, and it became a part-time versus full-time when really it was that whole temporary situation of people with no rights versus permanent people who have wine garden rights and who have a way to avoid being fired and that sort of thing. We're still in negotiations now with the temporary part-time workers, but we really feel like we've built a lot of momentum, both politically with City Council, in the negotiating room, and with the Civil Service Board. So we actually mounted a 3-pronged fight to better our situation, and we're very hopeful.